Hey guys, last time I left you, we were talking about Native Americans in North America. Now we're going to talk about Europeans in North America. Which Europeans are the first ones to come to North America? Well, that would be Leif Erikson and his boys coming over here, those Vikings. The Vikings come over here around 1000 AD. They travel on some small Viking ships. They're fast, they're called caravels. They land over in like Newfoundland, which is a little bit north. It's like in Canada. And when they arrive, they're greeted by a bunch of real angry natives. Okay, so the natives are actually able to chase the Vikings away, which was good for them because then they were able to live peacefully for another couple of hundred years. And then in the 1400s, the European nations, the old world, started traveling the ocean. Well, why did they start traveling the ocean? One reason why is they wanted to find that sea route to China. They wanted to find a sea route to go around that Silk Road. Remember that Silk Road you learned about in previous classes? That Silk Road, that land road that connected Europe to China to get those spices and the tea. It was getting too dangerous and it was getting too expensive. So they wanted to find a sea route around that. That was their goal. The second reason why Europeans started traveling the oceans is, believe it or not, they wanted to spread Christianity. The king and queen of Spain, Ferdinand and Isabella, they had the Spanish Inquisition, which basically said to the Spanish subjects, if you don't convert to Catholicism, you're dead. Right? So spread Christianity and find that magical sea route to Asia. What was, of course, probably one of the worst things to happen coming out of this transatlantic travel? I gave you the answer. The Portuguese went down around the west coast of Africa, and when they go down around the west coast of Africa, they find the slave trade. Slavery is probably one of the, if not the worst things that come out of transatlantic travel, unless you're talking about the just annihilation of the Mesoamericans, the Incas, the Mayans because of smallpox. It's going to be one of the two, right? Both of those are really, really bad. So in 1492, an Italian guy goes to the Spanish king and queen, right? Christopher Columbus goes to the Spanish king and queen, Ferdinand and Isabella, and says, hey, I need you guys to fund a trip, my trip to go to Asia to get all these spices. And Ferdinand and Isabella, they're like, yeah, okay, we got you. We'll front you the money. So Ferdinand and Isabella, the monarchy of Spain, pay for this Italian, Christopher Columbus, in 1492 to try to find that sea route to Asia. That old homage of in 1492 Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Yeah, he does, and he sails across and he lands in America, and we celebrate Columbus Day, right? Wrong. He lands in the Bahamas. He thinks he landed in India, so he starts calling these people that live there the natives. He calls them Indians, which he is way wrong because he's in the Bahamas. So he comes over here and he takes a bunch of these natives and he actually brings them back to Spain because Columbus came over here first looking for spices. Second, there was no spices, so then he started looking for gold. He needed to bring something back to Ferdinand and Isabella to be like, see, I told you funding my trip was good. Instead, he brings back slaves. And the queen is like, listen, I don't want these guys here. Bring them back to wherever you got them from. So Columbus actually has to sail back to bring back these natives from the Bahamas. Well, during this time, this whole transatlantic travel, something called the Columbian Exchange is created. And what the Columbian Exchange is, it's the exchanging or trading of plants, animals, fruits, and vegetables from the old world Europe to the new world America. Pretty much the worst thing to come out of this Columbian Exchange is, of course, disease like smallpox. Because the Europeans had it, the natives over here in the New World never got it, so they had no immunity. So Columbus and all those Spanish boys are crossing the ocean. You get the Portuguese, you get the Dutch, you get all these guys crossing the oceans, bringing plants, animals, vegetables, fruits, and disease. And it's that disease that actually wipes out all of those Mayans, the Incas, the Aztecs. I mean, just wipes them out. They kind of say it's war, but it's not really war. It's the disease. So what happens is after Spain starts claiming this land, other nations, other European nations like Britain, France, the Netherlands, they want to add land to their empire. So they start shipping dudes over here as fast as they can. And like when they get here, they start. The Queen of England gives Sir Walter Raleigh a charter. Like basically, it's a piece of paper that says, "Yeah, go ahead and go start a colony in that new world over there." So Sir Walter Raleigh comes over here in the 1500s. He starts a colony. He goes back. Colony goes kaput, right? So you have to remember these people are like rich people who travel here. They're not like farmers or anything like that. Builders. They're the rich. They're you know they just don't know how to last. So in 1587, John Smith comes over here and he creates a colony, the colony of Roanoke. And John Smith goes back to England to turn around and come back again. And when John Smith comes back, the colony is gone. This is what we call the lost colony of Roanoke. When John Smith comes back, the only thing he finds is the word Croatoan carved into a tree. They don't know if it was about the natives there. They don't know what happened to the people. But this is what John Smith comes back to. He ultimately finds Jamestown, Virginia, and we'll go into that one, and you'll see it coming into the next one, the next chapter. But what is also brought here besides plants, animals, fruits, vegetables, right? Disease, besides that, this is when you start bringing slaves into North America. Slaves start coming to North America at this time. They travel the Middle Passage, which is that passageway that slaves took from Africa to America. And they say 1 out of every 6 slaves transported died. So you can imagine the millions of slaves that died on the Middle Passage to just have their bodies probably dumped overboard. Well, to live that slave life, it was rough. And 3 aspects of slave life that I think that they tried to hold on to try to keep them a little, hopeful. Family, religion, art, and dance. They didn't want to get rid of that stuff. We'll go into slave cultures later, but I just wanted to touch on it right now. Good luck.